I want to call to order the August 6, 2015 meeting of the Ascension Parish Council. Right now, I would like everyone to please stand for the invocation and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. Lord, we ask that you carry our residents in Ascension Parish and throughout South Louisiana through this hurricane season unscathed. Lord, let us all look toward our neighbors with the extreme heat that's been down upon us, and especially the elderly. Let's make sure that they're well taken care of and they have what they need. Lord, it's with a heavy heart that we've lost several Ascension Parish residents here in the last couple of days. Lord, we'd like some special intentions to go out to the Billingsley family for the loss of Ricky Billingsley Jr. Also, to the Lebo family and the LaValle family for the loss of Thomas LaValle, Officer Thomas LaValle, Shreveport Police Department. We'd also like you to look over the Shivers family and the Delmore family for the loss of Charles Delmore. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. We'd like to welcome Troop 769 Scout Caleb Coleman to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Caleb.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Caleb, and thank you, Rusty, for bringing your son here, and thank you for being involved with him and you guys involved with the Boy Scouts of America. We'll move on to roll call. Madam Secretary, please note that all members are present. I have no chair's additions. Anyone wishing to speak on an agenda item, please sign in with the Secretary and you'll be given time when that item comes up. We'll move right into some presentations. We have a proclamation to proclaim Small Business Power Week in Ascension Parish. Parish President Martinez.
Mike,
Mr. Mike Eves, AEDC, Economic Development, and Lee Melanson.
Okay, to proclaim August 17th through the 21st, 2015 as Small Business Power Week in Ascension Parish. Whereas the purpose of Small Business Power Week is to create a collaborative program where entrepreneurs in Ascension Parish can learn about programs, services, associations, and networks available as resources to their small business. And whereas the Small Business Power Week will give small business owners the opportunity to learn from expert service providers and to network with local businesses and industry leaders. And whereas the Small Business Power Week will serve as a launching pad to strengthen existing small businesses and to grow new small businesses to support the growth of a strong small business ecosystem in Ascension Parish. Whereas Small Business Power Week partners include America's Small Business Development Center at Southern University, Ascension Chamber of Commerce, Ascension Economic Development Corporation, the City of Donaldsonville, Donaldsonville Chamber of Commerce, Donaldsonville Downtown Development District, Good Work Network, Stella Women's Business Center, Junior Achievement Lift Fund, Louisiana Economic Development, Micro Businesses Enterprise Corporation of Ascension, the Parish of Ascension, SBA, and SCORE. Now therefore it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Martinez, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereinto proclaim August 17th through the 21st, 2015, as Small Business Power Week in Ascension Parish. Mike, what do you want to say a few words?
Well, first of all, we just want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to come and do this. We've been working on this for a while. I'm sure you're not unfamiliar with any of the names that are in the group. We've been servicing the parish for many, many years, most of the organizations for over 20 years. The purpose of the event is to really bring awareness that these services are available. Most of them are free, and they're going underutilized in the parish. So our goal is to make sure people know that these services are there. Starting off with this first annual Small Business Power Week, this will continue. In addition to that, we're planning on having some office hours for each one of these groups to have a single place so that if any one of your constituents are looking for some assistance, again, most of these are free, there'd be a place to send them to get more information. And we're really pleased, representing the collaborative, to be able to work with Ascension Economic Development Corporation. And I just want to close by saying that's rather unique to have small business development organizations working with economic development corporations. So in this parish, we're really blessed to have that kind of a partnership. So Mike, I want to thank you for that on behalf of all the other groups. Thank you.
Thank you. Just briefly, I'd like to add that if you all look at the cooperative endeavor agreement that we have with you, it says in there we're to provide training, and this is part of that program. We're very excited about this. As Lee said, we hope to make this an annual event. And as you see, we've got a whole everybody, all the players in one group, and hopefully we get a good turnout. The opportunities for people to meet one-on-one with franchisors, to learn about how to do business, et cetera. Thank you for your support.
Mr. Martinez. Thank you very much, Tommy, Mike, and Lee. And Mike, as you know, as several members of this council have served their tenure on economic development as liaisons from the parish, that small business has always been a high profile for us. We appreciate you guys working with us. We'll move into agenda item number 6, Parish President's Report, a resolution to request that Congress reform the planning and construction process for vital infrastructure projects where federal funding is potentially involved. Mr. Martinez.
We were asked to join in this resolution and pass it by, I think, the city of Port Allen and West Baton Rouge Parish. So, you want me to read it?
I think
So move, Mr. Chairman.
second. We have a motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert, second by Mr. Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any opposition? That motion passes. Thank you, sir. Anything else within your parish?
Yes, I just
report?
want to give you all a quick update on the amoeba, brain eating amoeba in Ascension Parish in the Water District number 1. We met with DHH and Dr. Guidry this week and discussed all the different problems and concerns that they had and we had, and we came together as a group, and I think we have everything now to where we can work together and do what we need to do. We've started the chlorine burn. All the numbers are good. I don't think we have any amoeba left. I think we've burned them all. But anyway, we're going to continue doing so for the next 60 days, and we have the implementations in place now and the equipment in place now that we can continue burning as we see fit in the future, and we're going to take one other further step to ensure that the burning, what it's doing, it'll continue to be successful rather than just burn it and then 2 or 3 weeks later it comes back. So we're going to put in some new equipment there. Right. To ensure that what we do will be long-lasting rather than just a temporary fix. So it was a good week in that, and I think we've got the problem solved, and we're working well with DHH at this point.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Mr. Shakespeare.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Thank you very much for handling this as we did. We got a call today from a concerned citizen about because obviously with burn, there's a change in the smell of the water. They can smell the chlorine, and the people that are close to where it comes in. And the lady was concerned about whether it was safe for the people to bathe in it and everything. So we assured it was, because we want to let it out to them that everything's still safe.
Yes, it is safe. We're not going to bring it up to the level where it would be harmful to anybody, skin burns or anything else. We'll be monitoring that, and that's what it's a quill, what they call it, the way we can inject the
Yes,
chlorine.
an injection quill.
So anyway, I just wanted to update you on all this different stuff. And if there's any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Joseph.
Yeah. Mr. President, I just want to give your utility department
48 hours, they was on it, they had the people in place, your administration already had a contract in place for pumping and everything, and I just want to compliment you on that, and I'm glad we had that in place at that time. So great job from you and your utilities.
Everybody worked well, and also the notification process went well to where we could call every resident that was affected in that area and let them know what was going on, so they didn't somehow get the water up their nose where they could be affected, or use any of the sinus packs that they used. That's 2 of the 3 deaths, I think. That's what had happened, that they had used the sinus packs where you shove it up your nose with the water, and so hopefully we can not have this incident again and continue working toward a goal that we can solve that problem on a permanent permanent
Right.
basis. So,
With a loop.
yes, thank you.
That's all you got, Mr. President? Thank you. Any questions? Thank you, sir. We'll move on to agenda item number 7, consent agenda. Chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. A motion by Ms. Cazzo, second by Mr. Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move to agenda item number 8, general business. Change order number 1, Ascension Parish Governmental Complex, Mujo Architects, for an additional 81 days. Mr. Enlow, Parish Engineer Enlow.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
We're requesting 81 days to be added to the contract. It'll
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman. We had a lot of rain come in on while they started this project.
Good deal. We have a motion by Mr. Todd Lambert, second by Mr. Benny Johnson. Any discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Shakes not.
What's the anticipated date?
Completion date.
Okay, I was asked a couple times and I didn't know.
Would you repeat that in the microphone, Mr. Enlow? What the parish president said?
I'm here on October 20th, but 5 days.
We need to get in there.
We'll get it in early. We're gonna
Yes,
get the
sir.
parish president in there.
That's what we like, the tight deadlines. All right. No further discussion, any opposition? Motion passed. We'll move on to agenda item number 9. Resolution fiscal year 2015 to 2017 Louisiana Emergency Solutions Grant Program, ESGP. Ms. Collins.
Thank you, Mr.
Our
Chairman, members
grants
of the
officer.
council. I'm here tonight to request your approval. We want to apply for the 2015-17 Louisiana Emergency Solution Grant. It's out of the Louisiana Housing Authority, Corporation, I'm sorry. Statewide, it's $253,000, and we're asking that the council's approval to apply for this grant and to authorize Parish President Tommy Martinez to sign all documents pertaining to this grant, and or Glenn LeBlanc, CFO for finance.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Mr. Sadler.
Second.
Second by Mr. Melanson. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 10, CDBG 03 PARAA 1101, minor roof repair program overview. Ms. Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to ask Mr. Mark Tezano to come up. This is the home repair, roof repair program through the Office of Community Development. And Mr. Tezano is with Providence Technical Services. We went through the selection process, and his company is going to manage this for us. And I've asked him just to give you a brief overview of how this is going to work. So Mark, if you would not mind to come and give him a little update.
Just a- Thank you. Good evening. Again, my name is Mark Tizano. I'm with Providence Technical Services, and I will be serving as the project manager and overseeing the project. We will have the day-to-day person, young lady named Jennifer Perkins, that's going to be here each and every day that we actually, where we're implementing the project. But today, I'm not sure I didn't get in town quick enough to, or early enough to get a newspaper, but today should have started the the advertisements for the informational meetings that are going to be held next Monday, actually the next 2 Mondays, the 17th and the 24th. On the 17th is going to be at the courthouse in Gonzales, and on the 24th, it'll be here. And both meetings will be at 6 o'clock. And the purpose of the meeting is for homeowners that, that are interested in receiving assistance to come in and learn about the program, and also give them a chance to sign up. What we're going to have is basically like a 45-day sign-up period starting on that first meeting. They'll be able to go to the town of Sorrento, also here in Donaldsonville and Gonzales, as well as the local libraries, to actually sign up. And what we intend on doing is, once we start getting people signed up, we'll start doing what we call application intake, where they'll come in and provide the information. Just real quick, one of the most important things for homeowners is, they must be the legal homeowner. They can't, live in a house that they don't, actually have legal ownership of that house. Of course, they have to be a resident of Ascension Parish, and they have to be low to moderate income. And I'm going to stick around after the meeting if anybody who might have any questions. But, like I said, we anticipate getting application intake started in September. And if we can get the state to cooperate with us, maybe, somewhere around late October, early November, we can start working on some of these routes. So, any
Quick
questions?
question, sir.
Yes,
What's
sir.
the, once again, maybe I missed it, what's the basis of these monies? Where's it coming from?
But this is the Gustav Ike money
That's
back
what I
from
want to make sure.
08.
that
Yes, sir.
everybody- Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and I just want to make sure. This fund was put in that budget Ike fund a long time ago, and it is limited funds. So if you want to be part of it, so you have to attend one of these meetings and have all your information, because the funds are limited.
Right.
If I'm not right.
They don't have to attend the meetings that we have. I would say it would make sense for you to find out, as much as you can about it. They can just go in and sign up if they're not able to make those meetings. But of course, they'll miss out on the basic, basic things that they need to know for whether or not you would even be eligible or not. You won't know that unless you attend those meetings. And by the way, the state wouldn't allow us to make those meetings mandatory, so that's why we can't do that.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Ms. Collins?
You need a motion on this?
No, sir.
No.
This is just an
That's
informational.
right. You don't need
This
a
is
motion
part
on
of the CDBG funds that we had 13 programs of
Right.
13 projects. This is one of the second to last programs that we'll be working on. So it's already approved. We just
Yes,
wanted
it
you to
is.
know so you could go back into your areas and make a note of those dates and have them attend.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
We'll move on to agenda item number 11, approval of certificate of substantial completion, Sorrento Community Center, CDGD, number 03, PARA 3205, July 30th, 2015. Ms. Collins?
Thank you, sir. We're very excited to let you know that the Sorrento Community Center is finished. We have a copy and ask your approval on substantial completion pending the punch list. And so we're real excited. If you have a chance to go by, we've had very good success with this, and the mayor is more than happy, and we'll be having an opening and,
Move to accept
ribbon
approval.
cutting.
So a motion by Mr. Shakespeare. Second by Mr. Joseph.
Thank you very much.
In discussion.
It's been a
Very
good
nice.
program.
Very nice.
So, that's it.
That's it.
Thank you, gentlemen and lady.
Motion passes.
You didn't vote. You just said first and second in discussion, but you didn't call for a vote.
Aye, sorry.
Please vote. Need your
Anybody
approval,
against?
please, sir.
Anybody against it? I don't need a roll call, huh?
Oh, no, you just gotta say, but you need
Yes, I
any
apologize.
objection?
Any objections? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We will move on to introduction of ordinances. Introduction of ordinance to revoke an existing drainage servitude on Lot A4B1 of the Dupree property and relocate the drainage servitude into the new drainage channel and servitude depicted on the final plat of Dutchtown Meadows subdivision.
Motion to introduce, Mr. Chairman.
A motion introduced by Mr. Todd Lambert, second by Ms. Cazzo. Any objections? Motion introduced. We'll move to agenda item number 13, introduction of ordinance to amend an ordinance adopted on November 1st, 2012 to revoke and set aside the dedication of a 60-foot piece of property designated as small road and declare the road abandoned.
So moved. Move to introduce.
Motion introduced.
Who's the motion?
Motion
Mr.
to
Jake
introduce.
Snyder
Second.
got the motion. Mr. Malone got the second. Any objection? Motion's introduced. Item number 14, introduction of ordinance to amend Chapter 13, occupational license taxes and regulations, Article 11, unsolicited door-to-door sales of the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances.
Motion introduced.
A motion introduced by Mr. Malone, second by Mr. Todd Lambert. Any objections? It is introduced. Agenda item number 15, introduction of ordinance to transfer and even exchange two parcels of immovable property by and between the McCall Company, LLC, Palo Alto Incorporated, and the Parish of Ascension.
So moved.
Motion to introduce by Mr. Joseph, second by Mr. Turner. Any objections? It's introduced. We'll move into public hearing and ordinances. Item number 16, reading of an ordinance 15-03, revision to the Development Code, Section 17-2039, Industrial Designation Overlay Zone, West Bank Industrial Overlay.
To amend the
Mr.
Ascension
Carrington.
Parish Unified Land Development Code, LDC, Appendix 2, Development Code, Section 17-2039, Industrial Overlay Zone, whereas Ascension Parish local government subdivision is defined by Article 6, Section 44, Louisiana Constitution, 1974. Whereas the Parish of Ascension is the governing and responsible body over the zoning and regulations within the jurisdiction. Whereas Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish, adopted May 4th, 1993, identifies the process and manner in which to adopt ordinances regulating the lands of this parish. And now therefore be it ordained the Ascension Parish governing authority that the Unified Land Development Code of the Parish of Ascension, Appendix 2, Development Code, Section 17-2039, Industrial Designation Overlay Zone, is amended as more fully described in Exhibit A, attached hereto and made a part hereof. In the event any portion of the ordinance is ever held invalid or unconstitutional by any reason for any court of competent jurisdiction, such portion shall be seen separate, distinct, and indistinct provisions shall not affect the validity of the remaining portion of the ordinance. The effective date of the ordinance shall be in full effect as permitted by law. The ordinance has been submitted to a vote. The vote thereon was as follows.
Open public comment.
Second.
Motion to open public comment by Mr. Sadler, second by Mr. Todd Lambert.
Close.
Second.
Any objections?
I need,
Open. Motion to close, Mr. Joseph, second by Mr. Sadler. Any objection? Close, we'll move the ordinance. Motion
may I have a comment? I'd like to, move the ordinance with an amendment to it that is attached.
It's an attachment to the subsection A, which is just clarifying the overlay,
The property.
the property and the buffer.
Right.
That's all that was needed to it.
So the motion is to move the ordinance with the attachment.
Yes.
Second.
Second by Mr. Malone. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passed.
May I say something then, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I know it's pretty early, but, I just wanna, there's been a lot of hard work put in this effort on this ordinance, and, I'd like to thank the parish president for his involvement in it. Without him, this wouldn't happen. We'd be laying on us. And Ascension Economic Development, they have put a lot of work into it. LED, I mean, this is across the board to put something like this together.
We did come together, and I just like to say, and even the council, you know, this is one of the proudest moments in my political career to see an ordinance like this pass. And I want to thank all of y'all. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Mr. President.
I want to echo what all of us says, but I want to go a little bit further than that because I think this is probably the most important ordinance in the history of Ascension Parish as far as guaranteeing economic growth that we're enjoying now over the next 50 years. And, you know, it's something that's, it took a lot of work and it took a lot of cooperation. And I can say that nothing goes smooth, but this went as smooth as I think it could have gone. And I think it's just gonna do a lot, not only for the parish as a whole, but also for the West Bank and the citizens here. And it's gonna give us an opportunity. This is actually the largest piece of property that has deep water draft and rail in the United States that'll be available now. So kudos to you for passing this. Kudos to everyone that was involved. Mr. Joseph has been very instrumental in this also, but the LED, AEDC, and especially the landowners. The landowners, I don't think anybody gave this a hell of a lot of a chance at the beginning, but you know, everybody came together and understood the process, and here we are. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank the landowners. I think we have some present. Yes, Mr. Shakespeare.
Real quick, echo everything, and for something of this magnitude, I want to publicly thank Oliver to be a councilman in that district that goes through something like this, to go through all the things that happen. It's a tough thing, and he stuck by his guns on that, and I look around and all the other parishes that have changes and all like this, and it's all, most of the time it's haphazard, and you get all of the bad things that go along with it. So this was well planned and done the right way, and I think it's a very good thing. So everyone can be proud of this. Hopefully we can get a 4-lane highway now on the west bank.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Lohr.
I won't spend as much the time thanking everybody because that's already been done. I do want to, but I do have to say again, Councilman Joseph really did some heavy lifting, as well as our LED and the landowners. This has been a long process, and everybody just, you know, put aside their differences and kept focused on the big picture. So thank you for that. I do think it will be a landmark achievement if we can take the next step. About the next step, now that we're able to market it, hopefully with LED and economic development, I would like to encourage them, our economic development teams, to please focus not just on industry, but also on manufacturing, which I think there's some big opportunities for us there, and logistics, because I think those kind of industries would also really help, besides the taxes and the growth and everything else that we hope to come from this, but help those citizens over there with some job opportunities and things of that nature, and help diversify our economy. But again, this is a huge first step, and with a ton of heavy lifting, and I hope it's something we can look back on one day, and I'll be proud to have been a part of. Thanks.
Sir. Anything else? We'll approve it one more time.
It's approved.
We'll move on to agenda item number 19, reading of an ordinance 15-04, revision to Ascension Parish zoning map, West Bank Industrial Overlay. Mr. Perry?
The purpose of the ordinance is to add and overlay the West Bank Industrial Overlay to the Ascension Parish zoning map. Whereas Ascension Parish is a local government subdivision as defined by Article 6, Section 44, Louisiana Constitution, 1974, and whereas the Parish of Ascension is the governing responsible body within the jurisdiction. Whereas Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish adopted May 4, 1993, identifies the process and manner in which to adopt ordinances regulating the lands of this parish. Be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority that Ascension Parish zoning map is hereby amended as follows. See attachment exhibit, Ascension Parish zoning map. In the event any portion of the ordinance is ever held invalid or unconstitutional for any reason by any court of competent jurisdiction over it, such portion shall be deemed a separate, distinct, and independent provision and shall not affect the validity of the remaining portion of the ordinance. The effect of this ordinance shall be in full effect as permitted by law. The exhibit is the Ascension Parish zoning map. This ordinance has been submitted to a vote. The vote thereon was as follows.
Motion to open public hearing.
Second. Public hearing by Mr. Todd Lamont, second by Mr. Satterley.
Close.
Motion to close by Mr. Joseph, second by Mr. Johnson.
Move the ordinance.
Got a motion to move the ordinance by Mr. Sadler, second by Mr. Joseph. Any discussion? Any opposition? Ordinance moves. I'd like to take one small final opportunity because I know several of the folks that have the land there. I want to thank the generations of farmers that worked hard and tirelessly to keep that land together and keep it. And I hope that the end result is, while it's good for Ascension Parish, but the end result is that you guys, through generations of hard work, that y'all see the fruits of your labor on this, and that whatever becomes of any business that's sold in that area, that it works out for you. Thank you. We'll move on to agenda item number 22. Reading of an ordinance, budget amendment number 5 to amend the 2015 budget.
An ordinance to amend the ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating the 2015 operating and capital budgets for the parish of Ascension, adopted by the Ascension Parish Council on the 20th day of November 2014. Section 1, Ascension Parish Council hereby ordains the ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating 2015 operating and capital budgets for the parish of Ascension is hereby amended, approved, and appropriated as follows. West Ascension Drainage Fund, expenditures and other financing issues, transfer out of DPW West Building Construction Fund, $465,000. Capital budget, DPW West Building Construction Fund, revenues and other financing sources transfer in from West A Drainage, $465,000. Expenditures and other financing uses, contract payments, $465,000. The ordinance had been submitted to a vote. The vote thereon was as follows.
Open the public comment.
Motion to open public hearing by Mr. Sadler, second by Mr. Lord.
Motion to close.
Motion closed by Mr. Sadler, second by Mr. Lord.
Move the ordinance, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to move the ordinance by Mr. Todd Lambert, second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion carries. Before we go on to agenda item number 25, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank a guy that every time we meet right here, we have everything we need, and he makes sure that everything we got, and that would be Mr. James Yogi Wilson. And I'd like to extend that thank you to him. Right now, I'd like to thank Officer Hebert for keeping us upright and straight here for about an hour, and be safe when you go back out on the streets, sir. Mr. Lambert.
Motion adjourned.
We have motion adjourned, Mr. Todd Lambert, second by Mr. Denny Johnson. Any discussion? Any opposition? We are adjourned.